So, you've thought about scuba diving, right? But then something holds you back. Some story you heard, some fear you have. Well, today, we're going to tackle those head on. Let's separate the myths from reality.
I mean, it's pretty wild to think about, isn't it? Most our world is underwater. And the idea of just floating, totally weightless, in this vibrant alien world, it's incredible. But for a lot of us, that sense of wonder gets hit with a big wall of worry and a bunch of what-ifs.
And look, that's completely understandable. There is so much misinformation out there about diving. Is it dangerous? Is it crazy expensive? Who is it really for? So you know what? Let's clear the water a bit.
Okay, let's jump into the first big one, because you hear two totally different stories about this. Is learning to dive easy, or is it really, really hard?
So on one side, you have the brochures screaming it's so easy, anyone can do it. And then on the other side, it's portrayed as this hardcore extreme sport, just for Navy SEALs or something. So which one is it?
Well, the reality is, it's neither. The best way to think about it is that it's a skill. And honestly, the best analogy is learning how to walk. Right now, walking is totally automatic for you, but it sure didn't start out that way.
Think back, or imagine back, to being a toddler. It feels weird, right? You stumble, you fall down, a lot. But you keep getting up, you keep trying, and eventually, bam, it becomes second nature. Diving is exactly like that. Breathing underwater through your mouth while trying to float in 3 dimensions, it's going to feel strange at first. Your certification course gives you the foundation, but with practice, it just clicks. It becomes natural.
And this really nails the right mindset. Don't get caught up in whether it's easy or hard. Think of it as a rewarding challenge. Earning that comfort, earning that skill underwater, that is a serious achievement, and it's something you should be incredibly proud of.
So this idea of a challenge leads us right into the next big myth, which is all about the type of person who dives.
You know the image I'm talking about. You've seen it in the travel magazines, in the movies. And sure, there are plenty of divers who fit that description. But that view is just so incredibly narrow. And frankly, it's just plain outdated.
The reality is so much cooler. If you're an adrenaline junkie, you can explore flooded caves or even go diving under polar ice. But what I think is truly amazing is how it opens up the world for people with mobility challenges. Underwater, you're weightless. Gravity's not an issue. It is a truly inclusive sport for a massive range of people with completely different ambitions. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room for a lot of folks. Money. This is probably the biggest barrier. This myth that scuba is a sport just for the super rich.
Well, expensive is all relative, isn't it? I mean, any hobby can be expensive depending on how deep you get into it. The real question is about value. And the good news is you can absolutely be smart about how you spend your money and make it accessible.
And here's the key. Spend smart, not cheap. You absolutely do invest in top-notch training. That's your safety. It's non-negotiable. Same goes for your life support gear, like your regulators. But you know what? You don't need a bunch of flashy gadgets when you're starting out. And don't let a cheap, poorly fitting vest, your BCD, ruin your dive. The goal is to be a smart consumer, not just to find the lowest price tag.
Okay, it's time. We have to address the giant, toothy, deep blue elephant in the room. The #1 fear for so many people. Sharks.
Yup, one movie, a single movie from 1975 created this deep, primal fear of sharks that has lasted for generations. It was an incredible piece of filmmaking, no doubt, but wow, it was also responsible for so much hysteria and, really sadly, for the devastation of shark populations around the world.
Even the director himself, Steven Spielberg, has talked about his regrets. He said that one of the things he fears is that sharks are somehow mad at me for the feeding frenzy of crazy sport fishermen that happened after 1975. I mean, when the guy who made the movie says that, it really puts things into perspective.
So let's just look at the actual data for a second. In 2021, there were more than 4,400 boating accidents in the US. In that same year, there were only 73 unprovoked shark bites in the entire world. Let that sink in. Statistically, the boat ride to the dive site is far, far more dangerous than any shark you're ever likely to see. And here's the ultimate mindset shift from the absolute legend, Dr. Sylvia Earle. She said, you should be afraid if you are in the ocean and you don't see sharks. Why? Because sharks are a sign of a healthy, thriving ecosystem. Their absence is the real problem. I promise you, the first time you see one underwater, it's not going to be scary. It's going to be beautiful and unforgettable.
Okay, Before we wrap this up, I want to give you a quick little bonus tip. This is some lingo that'll help you sound like you know what you're talking about from day one.
You always hear it in movies and on TV. Oxygen tank. Nope. A diver would call it an air cylinder, or just a cylinder, or a tank. That's because we're breathing regular compressed air, the same stuff we're breathing right now, about 21% oxygen, just squeezed into that cylinder. It's a small detail, but it'll make you sound like you've done your homework.
So, let's recap this new reality we've just uncovered. Diving isn't easy or hard. It's a rewarding challenge to be proud of. It's an inclusive activity for almost everyone. It can be affordable if you spend your money smartly. And sharks, they're a beautiful sign of a healthy ocean, not something to be feared. With these myths busted, maybe the path forward seems a little bit clearer. The other 71% of our planet is out there, filled with wonders that we can only dream of from the surface. So the only question left is, are you ready to rise to the challenge and go see it for yourself?